Hace muchos años yo estaba ejerciendo la defensa legal para la gente procesada por terrorismo. Y si algo aprendí de Dios fue justamente en las cárceles, con las personas que eran procesadas, con las personas que eran absueltas o condenadas, con la gente que estaba sufriendo esta situación. Ellos, ellas me enseñaron de la fe.
La historia nace hace muchísimos años, ya por el año 1990, cuando en un viaje para visitar familiares conozco casi casualmente a la comunidad mapuche.
This guy was walking past and he just moved a few doors down from our church 4 days before, and he saw all the homeless guys lined up and was really moved. So he came, put his head around the door and said, you know, what's happening? And so someone said, you know, we're starting a homeless meal, and he said, can I talk to someone about this and what you're doing? Marylebone's quite an affluent area, so we thought he was going to complain. So the person on the door said, you need to talk to Annie because she's running it, and so gave him my number.
A few months ago, we as about 50 YWAM leaders went to 8 locations in Bangkok. We felt like God spoke to us to go to where the red shirts were demonstrating at the local park. Also found out that there are about 500 homeless people that sleep there every night. We went to ask questions to find out the challenges that people face.
Pero ellos nos dijeron algo muy claro. Lo primero que queremos es una escuela. Y nosotros pensamos, una escuela, ¿cómo vamos a hacer una escuela nosotros acá? ¿Con qué elementos? Estamos tan lejos, ¿cómo hacer, no?
So we talked for a bit and he just kept saying, you know, well, how are you going to fund it? And we were like, well, you know, the church, people at the church give some money every month and we use some of that for the meal. And he was like, well, what are you going to do when it grows? And I was like, well, we'll just use a bit more of that money. And he was like, well, what are you going to do when it grows even more? And I was like, wow, you're pushy. I was like, well, you know, we'll have to ask the church for more money if we need more money. And he was like, well, that's fine. You know, I just said, well, look, you know, I don't know how this sounds, but you know, if we feel like God is asking us to do something, we trust that God's going to provide the resources for it.
First guy we met was a red-shirted guy. Found out about him that he had moved from the south, been in this park for a year. Found out that he was affected deeply by the tsunami. He lost his wife, lost his mother and father, lost his daughter. This was 5 years on down the road from the tsunami, and he was frozen in time. He had lost all of his fingers on one hand as he tried to hold on to a palm tree. And he's a lost guy. He's finding himself and finding his ways. We asked him if we could pray for him. He said, sure.
Bueno, hemos alcanzado algunas comunidades enseñándoles que el Evangelio es algo más que estar en un templo, y la gente ha sido más sensible, ha abierto más sus corazones a poder ayudar al necesitado, y consideramos que ese es un triunfo de nuestra iglesia proyectándonos a la comunidad.
Well, this guy with the story has become a friend. His name is Wah. Maybe you could pray for him right now. He's still on his journey. He's trying to drink himself into oblivion. He's trying to hear some people that he's never heard about before.
Hicimos los cimientos con la gente, cavamos los cimientos del edificio, pusimos la piedra fundamental. Ellos, la gente de la comunidad, puso la piedra fundamental. Y allí estábamos, ¿no? Sin divisiones.
Consideramos que es importante para esta iglesia dar a otras gentes, y hemos visto los resultados de nuestros vecindarios siendo impactados por el testimonio de nuestra iglesia.
We went back a couple of weeks later after meeting Wah. He told us that he was 27 and his birthday was on February 14th. So we surprised him with a birthday party. We baked him a cake, made drinks, had balloons, had everything, and we surprised him. And he had 30 of his red-shirted friends. They said, where did you meet this guy? I said, oh, I just met him a couple of weeks ago. They ate the cake, enjoyed the conversation, and Wah is on a journey to be able to find this God who is going to help him take steps forward to be able to find out what life is like after the tsunami and the loss of his family.
So he was like, that's all I need to know. Here's £5,000 to keep running the meal, and I'd like to talk to you ongoingly about how I can help you take this further and help these guys off the street. So it was amazing. He's not a Christian, but he has found an opportunity through the church to really engage in an issue that he's really passionate about. It turns out that he himself almost ended up homeless when he was younger. So it's in his story.
Recuerdo que una joven del grupo, un pastor, ¿no?, se acercó y le pregunta, ¿y tanto que van? ¿Cuántos se convirtieron? Y ella le dijo, muchos. Y él dijo, ¿sí? ¿Quiénes? Todos nosotros. Pero creo que los primeros transformados hemos sido nosotros. La primera transformada ha sido mi iglesia. La primera transformada han sido los jóvenes que fueron y transitaron con nosotros. Nunca más nuestra mirada sobre la realidad, sobre el mundo, sobre el texto bíblico fue igual al haber conocido esta comunidad y haber aprendido todo lo que ellos nos enseñaron.